So this video is about Breonna Taylor, and we have here Oprah buys 26 billboards demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. Okay, so Winfrey demanding justice for Breonna Taylor with billboards. And so this right here, I saw this article because it was in Yahoo, of course. And this is Breonna Taylor. It says Oprah Winfrey, she buys 26 billboards in Kentucky for Breonna Taylor. So Louisville, Kentucky. First, Oprah Winfrey put Breonna Taylor on the cover of Oprah magazine. And so now the media mogul, is spreading her message with billboards demanding justice for her Kentucky woman shot to death during a police raid. 26 billboards displaying a portrait of Breonna Taylor are going up across Louisville, Kentucky, demanding that the police officers involved in her death be arrested and charged, according to the social justice organization Until Freedom. So that's one billboard for every year of the black woman's life. Okay, so that's how old she is, or she was, that is. So the billboards funded by the magazine showcase the magazine cover dedicated to Breonna Taylor. The Courier Journal reported. So also displays is a quote from Oprah herself. If you turned a blind eye to racism, you became an accomplice to it, which is good. I agree. So finally, Oprah is stepping up and speaking out on these issues because she knows this is hurting our community. So Until Freedom thanked the Oprah magazine for its work on the billboards. Together we will make sure that no one forgets Breonna Taylor's name and recommit to the fight for justice for her and her family, the group said in a tweet. So Breonna Taylor was an EMT, an emergency medical technician studying to become a nurse, and she was shot multiple times in March on the 13th when police officers burst into her Louisville apartment using a non-knock or no-knock warrant is what it was called during a narcotics investigation. So the warrant to search her home was in connection to a suspect who did not even live there, and no drugs were found. So Kenneth Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, was originally charged with attempted murder after he fired the shots at one of the officers who came and burst into the home, or he came into the home. As they write, he came into the home, but what it was told is that they had a no-knock warrant and then they burst into the home. So Walker said that he didn't know who was entering the apartment and was firing a warning shot. And so the charge was later dropped. It was dropped on the boyfriend. So global protest on behalf of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Minnesota, and others who have been part of a national reckoning over racism and police brutality. Tensions have swelled in Breonna Taylor's hometown and beyond as activists, professional athletes, and social media stars push for action while investigators plead for more patience. Okay, so the decision whether to bring state-level criminal charges against Louisville officers rests in Kentucky Attorney General's Daniel Cameron. He took the Breonna Taylor case after a local prosecutor recused himself from reviewing the matter. Okay, yeah, it says recused, or it should say excused. So I always catch these little things. So the one of the officers has been terminated. So one of the officers was terminated of his position, but he wasn't arrested. So let's get that straight. And two officers are on administrative reassignment, meaning they didn't get fired, they didn't get arrested, but they're on administrative reassignment. So they're no longer on the same assignments that they were previously on. They might be doing something else lesser. maybe without guns, or maybe something like maybe giving tickets or something like that. I'm assuming. I don't know all the details in that, but Cameroon, the first African American elected attorney general's job in Kentucky, has declined to put the timetable on his decision since taking over the case in May. So Cameron told the Journal in Thursday's interview that his office is waiting for information on ballistics test, and the FBI has been conducting this. So the integral part of the investigation is that what will those ballistic tests show? And so we are in the process of trying to get the information back from the FBI, he told Louisville newspaper. So the FBI office in Louisville, Kentucky said that Friday that the significant amount of ballistics evidence was collected and when the investigators returned to Taylor's home in June. So the evidence is being tested and analyzed at the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia. The FBI Louisville office said in a statement, once the FBI laboratory has completed its findings, FBI Louisville, Kentucky will promptly share our results with the Attorney General's office. So Christopher, two-time an anti-violence activist in Louisville, Kentucky, told reporters this week that he is encouraged by the commitment of the FBI. Officials locally and nationally have shown to the case. So he commented after participating in a meeting at the FBI Louisville, Kentucky office. And so you'll see to my right, to your right probably, you'll see Oprah. Oprah put up 26 billboards honoring Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky. So she's calling for the arrest of people that were involved in killing her. And so see how long it takes for the black woman to get justice. Right away, there was this outcry for George Floyd's killers. And mind you, 3 of them have been released. Even though they were charged, they were released. 3 of the actors involved were released. And the one main one, he's still incarcerated, as far as I know. And so they have a court case coming up. And so they released 3 out of the 4. And that was because on the technicalities that some of them were fairly new to law enforcement and some of them weren't actively involved in the death as they claim. They want their charges dropped. And yet, here you have a woman who was in her home, not doing anything, not causing any problems. She was an essential worker, what would have been referred to as right now during the pandemic. And she was murdered. But her killers, they get to keep their jobs. They're not incarcerated. One just got fired, and she's a black woman. And so, what have we heard and learned from this is that the black woman is disrespected, is not respected, and is treated lesser than. Even in the black community, that we're not treated with the same amount of level of ferocity and demanding justice for our black sisters in the community as our black brothers in the community. And this is a huge problem. And if we're treated like this, just think of how we're treated in relationships and even just every day, how people view us and how they treat us in everyday society, in the workplace, in schools, and just how they view us. If they don't feel that our lives even matter, they go around saying Black Lives Matter, but you have this black woman who she represents most black women, and our lives are not looking as though they matter. And that is a huge problem in society. And it's been a problem. And that is the reason why we stay quiet when we're in our abusive relationships. That is the reason why when we have a crime happen to us, it is not viewed as being a crime. It's viewed as a technicality, or it's an isolated incident, or it's not as severe, or we don't feel the same levels of pain that white women feel. Um, when they're looking for people, we're not on the search radar as other people, other women that aren't black. And this is a huge problem. I'm adding this in there. These are my opinions, but I feel because I am too a black woman that I realize that in all my years, I realize why we're not highly regarded in those dating apps and sites. We're looked at as, lesser than, or we're not as looked at as desirable. And if we are, we're overly sexualized in some media. Um, we're treated in a harsh manner or abusive manner. We're the mothers, we're the sisters, we're the daughters, we're the helpmeet, we're the wives. But we're not treated with respect in even those roles. In some people's lives, we don't really matter. Um, and so this is yet not surprising and not shocking to me that this is happening. And so, with all the black community crying out for black males, we don't cry out for the black females because we don't even treat our own people with a high regard. How can we cry out for Black Lives Mattering when we don't even treat other black people as they matter? Thanks for listening.